What's going on YouTube? Today we're taking a look at one beast of a router that's sitting here right next to me. This is the TP-Link Archer BE800, also known as the BE19000, and it's a tri-band router that's going to be great for today's needs as well as tomorrow's. So if you're looking for a new router, this is definitely the way to go. Now the BE800 is kind of marketed towards gamers, but you do not have to be a gamer. As someone who has about 50 devices connected, 60 on the high end, I need a router that's going to be able to keep up. And this router definitely was able to do that. Before we check out all the features, I just want to go over the design because I think this is one of the coolest router designs that I've come across in a very, very long time. You have these customizable side lights, and it also does illuminate the bottom, and you can change it depending on what you're doing. And this definitely came out of Star Wars. Whoever designed this, whatever the engineer was thinking when he designed this router, definitely was a huge fan of sci-fi. And as someone who's also a fan of sci-fi, this router is talking to me. This router is definitely speaking my language. Now on the inside as well, let's get a little bit closer. You do have some vents and a fan. When the router gets busy or gets hot doing its thing, you do hear that fan just a tiny, tiny bit. But once you're about 3 feet away, you definitely don't hear it. If we take a look at the ports of this router here, guys, you have 4 2.5 gig ports, 2 10 gig ports, and an SPF Plus port right there, as well as your USB 3 port that you can plug in a hard drive or something like that. Now, apart from the hardware, on the inside, once again, this is a tri-band router. So 2.4, 5 gigahertz, and 6 gigahertz networks are here, and you can configure them for your guest network. So yes, you can even have a 6 gig guest network. You also do have those 2 separate IoT networks, one for 2.4 gig and one for 5 gig. You also do have a separate 6 gigahertz network that you can put all of your Wi-Fi 6 and 6E devices on, just to kind of keep things once again separated. And then for the ultimate in speed with Wi-Fi 7, you do have that multi-link operation port. So that's going to be your MLO network, and that's going to combine the 2.4, 5 gig, and 6 gigahertz channels into one massive superhighway to give you the best possible transfer and receive rate. So once again, guys, you are set for the future. There's a ton more that's involved with this router. So let's just go ahead, head over to the application. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And for more advanced features, they do have a web interface. So let's go ahead and check those two out together and see what they're all about. Opening up the Tether application is a very easy way to customize your router. You don't have to go into the web interface, but I will show you that web interface just after I give TP-Link props for designing a well thought out and well laid out application. You'll find out if there's any issue with your router. For right now, you can see that it says it is working well. If you have any TP-Link or extenders or EasyMesh systems, you'll see it underneath. I do have another router that I'm using as an extender, so I did create my own mesh network. And you'll also be able to see your download rate and upload rate in real time. So at the moment, I am not really doing all that much with my internet traffic there. You can see how many clients you have line. You can see your game statistics. You can change those RGB lights right on the fly. And these RGB lights are actually very, very cool, guys. I think they did an excellent job with designing a router that's good for gamers, good for the RGB lover out there, but also can be disabled if you just want to kind of put this router aside and never think about it. A lot of different modes that you can play with. So again, very, very customizable. And there is a night mode available, so you can disable the lights at a specific time. I'm at 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Just turn those off. I'm probably watching TV or a movie, and I don't want those lights to disrupt me. And again, it's just a nice way to keep your router customizable, a nice way to differentiate yourself from other routers on the market. There also is a color picker, so you can choose whichever is your favorite color there, guys. Traffic usage is going to quickly show you how much traffic you've used for any specific week. So if we go back a couple of weeks, you'll be able to see your traffic usage, and you'll be able to see by app which application has been using the most internet traffic. So again, a lot of nice features here. I definitely like seeing more features that I know what to do with. It'll show you how many isolated devices you have, and if you have any parental controls, you can also show you what those parental controls are right there. Now clicking on more, this is going to be where I'm going to show you most of these features when we check out the interface, the web interface. But under Wi-Fi settings, you can see your settings for your 2.4, 5 gigahertz, as well as a separate 6 gigahertz network channel. Again, I like keeping things separate. I like to keep my faster devices on a faster lane and keep those slower, older devices on a slower lane. And of course, you do have that MLO network, which is going to give you the fastest speeds possible. I'll do some speed tests on the Milo network in just a little bit as well there, guys. But it's very simple as well to block certain clients. If you don't want certain clients to get access for whatever reason, you could do that. You also have quick access to your guest network, your IoT network, your QoS settings, your EasyMesh settings. There's network optimization again. So if you wanted to make sure that you're on the fastest channel with the least amount of interference, you can just go ahead and run that scan. It's going to automatically choose the right channel for those networks to operate on. And that's basically all that I want to show you. Let's head over to the web interface because there's a lot more to do on the web interface. This app is just kind of like a quick overview and a quick way to change some of the most widely used settings on the fly. It is cloud-based as well, so if you're not home, you can always change some settings while you're out and about. But I am home at the moment, so let's head over to the web interface. We're going to get into some of the more advanced features of the BE19000 from TP-Link, and to set up these features, you do have to log into the web interface, so just type in tplinkwifi.net into your web browser. Now again, these are going to be the most advanced features, but if you just want to set it up simplistically for the time being, the application is basically all that you're going to need. Gives you a nice interface as well, and again, for most people, it's going to be perfectly fine. But if you're buying this beast of a router, you guys already know you need to go into this web interface and set everything up perfectly. Now, I've spent some time setting this up, and I'm very happy that I did because I have it up and running. It's purring like a kitten. Speaking of purring like a kitten, though, let's go ahead and do a quick speed test here. Now, I did one just moments ago, and this was my baseline. I should get about that 1 gig of speed for download, and my upload is usually about the 160. Now, this is a hardwired computer. This is not over Wi-Fi, so this is a connection that's doing it over an Ethernet cable. If you don't have an Ethernet cable, I'm going to run some Wi-Fi speed tests as well a little bit later on in this video. But you can see I'm on par, perfectly purring like a kitten, 1.1 gigabit down. Here's my latency. And you can also see my upload speed is still about that 160, 170. So once again, keep this in mind. This is my baseline test, 1.1 and 160. Let's get out of my remote desktop application here. Coming back to the web interface for your BE19000 from TP-Link, you get all the relevant information when it comes to your online status. So a little check mark means that I am able to connect to the internet. Here's my Archer GE800. And you can see the bands that I have available. I have all of the bands available, the 2.4, 5, and the 6 gig bands. And here we go, my mesh devices. I do have one mesh router connected. So EasyMesh is here, and it really is very, very easy. You can set it up with an access point or another router. So right now I'm using the Archer BE550 as my satellite device. Now bringing up the satellite devices, I wish TP-Link would let us repeat our guest networks and everything like that. At the moment, it's only repeating your main network, so that's a little bit of a downer. I really wish that we'd get a little bit more advanced features when it comes to the EasyMesh setup feature on TP-Link. I will talk to you about that once we get to that settings page, but I just want to let you know that it's easily configurable into a mesh system if you need it. And then you can also see your clients. So I have 53 clients connected at the moment. Not even a hiccup when it comes to connecting that many clients to this router. It really is a very, very capable router. Clicking on the Game Center, this is where you're going to see a lot of information about gaming. Now, if you guys do game, there is game acceleration, so you can turn on quality of service, which is going to kind of give priority to the devices you want to give priority to, say like your Xbox, or let's be real, your PlayStation 5. You also have a game server acceleration, and this is going to automatically optimize the route selection and kind of connect you to the best server with the shortest route available from wherever you are in the world playing your games. So this is a very, very nice feature, again, if you guys game, and it works in conjunction with the quality of service. Just means that when you're playing your PS5 and someone tries to go online and watch a whole bunch of 4K content, you are always going to get the best stream and fastest stream possible. So I like all the game-centric features, but once again, if you're not a gamer, you just want a very capable router, this is going to be the router that I'd recommend as well. So here's your gear acceleration, and it's the same as your quality of service. Just prioritize your internet traffic for specific devices, so you can give one more priority over the other one. So there's game forwarding as well. Here's your game statistics. So if we click on it, it's going to let you know how much traffic you spent playing those games, what the duration was, and when you played it. Now, I really haven't played any games. This is my server, and I don't know why it's being recognized as an Xbox. But just to give you an idea, total traffic, total duration, that might be something you're proud of or something you're trying to hide. And game detector as well. It's going to be optimized for some of these games here. So you can see there's a couple games here that are going to be optimized with a supplementary feature. And again, game diagnostics, if you needed to change it, you could go ahead and do that. So game acceleration, your game center is very useful whether or not you play games, guys. Here's your network traffic. So it's going to let you know your current upload and download speeds, how much you're uploading, how much you're downloading. And if we click on it, you also get a nice real-time graph. I like real-time graphs personally. I'm a big fan of graphs and a big fan of more data than I know what to do with. And that's where performance comes in handy. Again, very capable with 53 devices connected right now. The current load of my CPU is only at 16%, so I can probably add way more than that, up to about 200. And here's my memory usage. And again, you can see in real time what's going on with your memory usage right here. Very, very capable, very nicely detailed as well. TP-Link does a really good job when it comes to all of these stats that they give you on their higher end routers. And if you do have a USB storage device connected, you'll see information about it right here as well. Clicking on Home Shield, I skipped over internet and wireless because that just lets you know how you're connected and your SSIDs. But going into Home Shield, you can run a quick network check of what's going on with your network. And it's really simplistic, to be quite honest. It's nothing to write home about. It's not doing any sort of deep dive. It's telling me that my DMZ port is open, so that I might want to disable actually. But you can disable it, and you probably should. So I might disable that a bit later on. And it's also showing me that my guest network is open. And even though it has a password, it's not the strongest encryption when it comes to the password. So that's probably why it's saying it's a good idea to disable it. So once again, don't put too much stock into this network check. It's just very simple and probably just isn't going to tell you all that much if you're running into problems. Now you also do have parental controls on this. So if we want to just quickly click and add a parental control, let's go ahead and call this one kids, and the age, prefer not to say. And then you can select which device you want to add to the section for parental controls. Let's just go ahead and click on, I don't know, one of these smart devices. Click on add. Then we're going to click on next, and you can filter the content that your children are able to see. So if you want them not to be able to see mature content, online shopping, even gaming, any of these sections right here, you can click on the filter so that this way they are not going to be able to access it. And if you find that they're still accessing certain websites, you can block them specifically by clicking on add right here. And then you also do have time controls. So there's some time controls that you can set up. It's a good way to make sure that they do go to bed. So again, guys, it's a basic feature that's built into this, and they do have a paywall if you wanted to get more advanced features. So they do call that their Home Shield Pro feature. Depends on you guys. For most people, I think this would be more than enough when it comes to parental controls. So let's just go ahead and click on leave this profile. Now, quality of service is just what it sounds like. If you enable it, it's going to let you choose what devices get priority to the network. We kind of went over that in the Game Center, but with the QoS, let's go ahead and just put in my bandwidth to show you guys. Let's go ahead and do this. Click on Save. This is going to allow you to choose certain devices or certain applications to get direct access to the internet when it's a little bit busy. So if you want streaming and media services to get access, which most of us probably do, we don't need any interruption when it comes to watching our movies. You can go ahead and click on streaming and media, online conferences, file transfer, or you can of course do a custom. So again, guys, it's very customizable. It's a really high-end router that has a lot of features that most people are not ever going to touch. And that's where we get into the advanced tab of the BE19000 here. If you've set up a router in the past, it's going to be very simple, and you guys are going to understand how to do it really quickly as well. I'm just going to go over some of the features that I think are the most important, because there's a lot of features here, and most of them you never really need to touch. And quite honestly, if you set this up over the application on your smartphone, you don't really have to go into this unless you want to set up some more advanced features here. So one of the features that I set up, if we go into wireless, I actually can set up an IoT network, and this is going to be a separate IoT network for all of your, well, smart switches, smart hubs, anything like that that you want to kind of separate from your main network. And I think this is really important. Again, there's a lot of security risks when it comes to smart devices. They generally run old chips, and they generally are not updated all that often. So if there are some exploits and you got some cheap switches from online, let's be real, we all like to be a little bit of cost saving when we can. You're not going to get those security features, and you're not going to get those updates, so you might be at risk when it comes to using those cheaper devices. But when you enable the IoT network on the TP-Link router here, you can ensure that even if they are compromised, no one's going to get access to your network. No one's going to really be able to do anything. So I like seeing an IoT network, guys. Now, personally, I set up all of my smart switches on my guest network, and that kind of separates them from my main network as well. But you can use the IoT network to separate them, and I do like the fact that it is a 2.4 and a separate 5 gigahertz that you can set up for your IoT of things. So again, it depends how you want to set this up. Now again, I just use my guest network because I have, again, about 30 smart switches or whatnot, so I don't want to go in and change all the Wi-Fi passwords that I've had set up for a very long time. If I was able to redo it and start from fresh, I would definitely set up the IoT network separately and turn off that guest network until, well, I had a visitor to come visit me at my house there. Now there's a wireless schedule, so if you wanted to enhance that security feature, once again, you can automatically turn off your Wi-Fi network. I don't really know where this would come in handy, to be quite honest. Maybe if you've set this up at a business, turn it off when you're closed and turn it back on. Again, it depends on what you need from a wireless network. I always like seeing more features than I can use because it's just a little bit better than having less features and giving me more to want for. Earlier on in the video, I mentioned that we can use a USB storage device, and that's going to be sort of like your NAS backup for all of your devices connected if you want to set it up that way. So you can see here at the moment, I'm not using a USB storage device, but if you plug one in, this is the settings that you'd want to come to, and you can enable Samba support. You can enable local FTP or internet FTP as well. And you also do have secure sharing, and you can select which folder you wanted to share and put an admin password and log in. Again, if you have a drive that you're connected and using for work, or you want to save some personal items off into this device, but you don't want everybody to get access to, I like the fact that we do have secure sharing. And there's also media sharing as well, so you can view photos, play music, and watch movies stored on this device. Maybe perfect for that Plex server if you happen to have one. And for those Mac users, you can also use it as a time machine option. So that's why I like TP-Link routers. You get more features than you know what to do with. Now, speaking of more features that you know what to do with, device isolation is something that I'm glad to see on TP-Link routers and a lot more routers these days personally. And it's just a way, again, to kind of make sure that you isolate certain iffy devices from getting access to your network. So basically here I got a whole bunch of smart cameras and whatnot that I've put to be device isolated. Now they are still able to access the internet, so they're still going to communicate. You're still going to get your cloud network usage, but they're just not going to be able to see what else is going on your network. Sometimes these smart devices will scan your network and send back home saying how many printers you have connected, how many laptops. And this is a great way to ensure that, for example, my UFI camera only sees itself on the network. It's not going to be able to see other UFI cameras. It's not going to be able to see other devices on my network. Now, you're still going to be able to use your UFI cameras, your Nest cameras, using your application on your phone, even if they are device isolated. That is not an issue at all. But I just like the fact that if I have any iffy devices, maybe some Android boxes, if you know what I mean, I can always separate them and ensure that they're not able to scan my network or they're not able to do anything nefarious. Now, clicking on VPN client and VPN server, this is something I actually really like, guys. Now, for VPN server, a lot of people get a little bit confused, and I will come back to VPN client in a minute. But with VPN server, you're able to set up your own OpenVPN link back to your home network or your own Wireguard link back to your home network. So this way it kind of acts as your own free personal VPN. If you're traveling around, even if it's in your local city or you're traveling around Europe or Africa or wherever you're traveling, Asia, you can always come back and use your home internet connection as your own, and it's your VPN connection as well. So you get an IP address from your home internet, and you can also use any of the services that you have back at your home. So that's like Netflix. You can have background play with YouTube Premium if you have that, but it's not available in whatever country you're visiting. It's basically a free VPN server, guys, so I like the fact that you have it built into this router. Taking a look at your VPN client, it's different from VPN server because you're using your router to connect to a VPN company. I recommend NordVPN. They're my go-to when it comes to a VPN service, and I can save you guys about 70% with code JabberTech. Check my link down below. I even have some other codes for other well-known services as well. But again, with VPN client, you do have to subscribe to a company to get this VPN access. VPN server, once again, you are the VPN, so you can connect back to your home service when you need to. But once you get NordVPN or whatever service you have, you can use any service that you have available. Let's just go ahead and click on Add. and description. Let's call this one NordVPN. Now you can choose different protocols: WireGuard, LTTP, IPsec, PPTP. OpenVPN is going to be the most widely used and most compatible. I'd suggest you guys use OpenVPN or WireGuard. WireGuard is going to be a little bit faster. Once you log into your NordVPN account, there's many ways that you can have yourself up and running on multiple different platforms here. But this is not a video about NordVPN. It's about manually setting up my router. So if I click on manual setup, I can choose which VPN I want to connect to, which country I want to connect to. And there's just about every country available, guys. If you can see that here, tons and tons of connections. So let's actually go to, just for fun, let's go to the United Kingdom, and let's just go ahead and click on one of these available. I'm going to click on OpenVPN UDP, click on download. It's going to download to my machine. So very simple, very simple. Let's go ahead and click on browse, and then I'm going to select my UK NordVPN OpenVPN file. Let's go ahead and click on save. And you can see right here I have NordVPN. Let's go ahead and enable it. We have an OpenVPN connection going with NordVPN. Now if we want to do WireGuard, let's call this one WireGuard VPN. And then let's import from a config file that I've already downloaded. Let's go and enable my WireGuard server real quickly. Now you can only have one going at the same time, so you can't have two VPN connections at the same time. So you have to choose which one you want. Now I've switched over my account to UK. Let's go ahead and do a refresh just to show you guys. And let's do a speed test and see what kind of speed degradation we're going to get over a VPN connection. There's always some sort of degrade when it comes to speed. So let's go to fast.com, click on refresh. And remember, I get about that 1 gig speed of download. So let's go ahead and see what type of speed we're getting. So that's pretty respectable. That's not the fastest, it's not the slowest that I've seen when it comes to speed for a VPN connection, but it will get the job done. So we're at about, let's see, that's about 70. Ooh, it's getting a little slower. 66, and let's see what my upload is. Remember, I get about 160 upload usually. So let's see what that is. So here we go. My upload and download are kind of matching each other at 60-ish down. Just go ahead and do one more refresh here and see what kind of speeds we're going to get. Hopefully it gets a little bit faster. There we go. So it is capable of going a little bit higher. I did reach about 200. So there's about 100 here, guys, just to kind of let you know what type of speed you might get when it comes to a VPN connection. Dropping to about 74. Now let's switch over from the WireGuard over to OpenVPN. Now you can only have one VPN service running at the same time. And all of your devices that you want to use over VPN have to be configured down here. So I like the separation. You don't always want all of your devices to be connected over a VPN, especially if you're going to get a little bit of a speed degradation. So here's OpenVPN, guys. Let's wait for this to connect, and then we'll do another speed test. Now I've switched over to a London OpenVPN connection with NordVPN. Let's go ahead and do a speed test and see what we get over OpenVPN. Sometimes fast.com does not like VPN services, so let's just go over and switch over to speed test. Now there's no advanced features when it comes to VPN clients on this router, so you don't get a kill switch, you don't get anything like that. But I am very impressed right now with OpenVPN over NordVPN, guys. This is my speed right now, 160 down. Now I wasn't using NordVPN with WireGuard because at the moment they do not have a separate way to install WireGuard on any device manually. That was another service that I'm not going to talk to you about because it really isn't all that good. But you can see my upload and download is very acceptable, very acceptable when it comes to OpenVPN. Again, NordVPN is my recommended VPN service. Check them out. And I also did check out their eSim service, so I'll leave some links down below. I'm not going to get too detailed on what services I'm using unless you guys are interested. But let's just go ahead and do one more speed test and make sure that wasn't a fluke. But NordVPN is generally very fast. You can get it on TVs, tablets, phones, any device that you have. There's a NordVPN app or a way to get it installed there. So here's my speed once again. It's probably still going to get up to that 160 range. Very nice when it comes to OpenVPN. Let's head back to the router. So just to show you, I am connected here. As you can see, you can have different profiles available. You can put all of your favorite VPN services down here. Maybe you have one for work, one for play, one for whatever. You can go ahead and put it right down there. When it comes to the EasyMesh setup, it really is very simple. I just connected my existing router to my home network and I clicked on EasyMesh and it did all the setup for me. I just wish that EasyMesh gave us a little bit more when it comes to features. It just kind of extends your main network at the moment. So your 2.4 and 5 gig are extended, but all your guest networks are not extended. And if I'm connecting a fully fledged capable router such as the BE550, it should be able to extend my Milo network and extend all of those other high-end networks that I have available to me. And I also would like a way to kind of select which devices do not roam and which devices roam. That's what they have on their other Deco units, so I don't know why they don't have it with EasyMesh. It might just be a limitation. That's just a wish list for me. I would like to have my printer connect only to my office satellite, which is my Archer BE550. Sometimes the signal goes a little bit off and it connects to my main network, and this way it acts really, really slow. When it comes to extending your network, I'm using this with an Ethernet backhaul, which means I have an Ethernet cable connected from the main router to my satellite, and doing it that way you get the same speeds identical to whatever you're connected to. So over the Ethernet backhaul, I get fast speeds, super fast. Now guys, if I disconnect my Ethernet cable, let's go ahead and disconnect my Ethernet cable here. I'm about 10 feet below where my satellite EasyMesh router is, and I am on old ass Wi-Fi 5. So you can see here, I am getting about 320. So that's definitely about 1/3 of the speed when it comes to my network over a Wi-Fi connection. But if we move over to a Wi-Fi 7 capable device, let's see what kind of speeds we're going to get on the wireless network. And it's definitely faster, guys. You can see here, I'm definitely getting into that 720, even 870. Let's see if we get 900. So over Wi-Fi, I am not losing any speed. Over Wi-Fi 7, that is. And that's why I recommend these routers, whether or not you have Wi-Fi 6E, 6 or 7 devices right now. If you're looking to buy a router, you might as well get one that has the highest specs possible, because you don't want to leave yourself shortchanged in about a year, and you don't want to buy another router in about another year. So again, I am very impressed with the speeds when it comes to this new Archer BE19000 router. Let's run our first speed test as our baseline speed test from about 2 feet away from the router. So my speed should be about the gig range when it comes to my internet connection coming into my home. So you can see right now it's at 960. Now let's go ahead and see my upload. That's usually around the 150, 170 range. So that is well within range as well. And you can see I am on Wi-Fi 7. I am on the MLO network, so this is going to give you the fastest speed possible. So again, let's take a look at my upload. Drop just a little bit. It's probably going to end out at about 100. Let's go ahead and just do one more. So yep, we just hit that 1 gig speed, 1.1. Let's let this finish out, and then we're going to walk a little bit further away. So let's continue on. We're going to go about 20 feet away with a direct line of sight still to the router. And you can see my speed is still, you can see my connection is still pretty strong here. So right now I'm about 25 feet away, and I can still see the router. There are no walls in between me. And let's see what type of speed we're getting. We're still getting my rated speed just about. And you can see my upload, about that 130 still, jumped up a little bit to 220. And now it's going to end out at about 130 there. Let's just do one more. So 890. Now, just as a disclaimer as well, I am not on a traditional coax internet. I do use T-Mobile's home internet, so my speed does fluctuate a little bit. Generally, though, I'm still within range. About that 900 to 1 gig is usually what I can expect from my T-Mobile home internet. And the same with the upload. It usually is about 120, 130, 170 at the most. But you can see here my speeds are well within range, even though I'm about 20 feet away. Now, once this finishes, we're going to continue on and go about, I'm going to call that about 40 feet. And I am going through a wall this time. So let's go ahead and see what my speed is going to be like as we continue on with our journey here. Let's go ahead and do a speed test from here. Still very, very respectable. I'm still getting my rated speeds. So yep, this router does amazingly well with Wi-Fi 7 and the MLO network. And again, if you're looking for a new router, definitely pick up a Wi-Fi 7 capable router. I mean, there's no reason to buy something that's not Wi-Fi 7 at this point. Routers are that type of device that you buy and you keep for like 5 years or so. So even though you might not have Wi-Fi 7 devices, you probably are going to have Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E, and all of your other devices, your Wi-Fi 5 and whatnot, are still going to connect to this router without any problem at all. But you can see here my speed is definitely really good. So when it comes to the Archer GE800, aka the BE19000, fully feature set, there's a lot of features, a lot of speed, and a lot of features that you might not use right now, such as Wi-Fi 7. But you can see over my Wi-Fi 7 capable devices, I get very fast speed. So this is something I would recommend for you guys. If you have any questions about it, let me know down in the comments below, but I really appreciate you watching. Give me a thumbs up, that helps me out and keeps me going with this channel. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in another video.